Welcome back. All right, when we think of staying healthy, we might initially think of how we maintain our diets or maybe how we maintain our bodies, but we often forget to think about maintaining our minds. October is Emotional Wellness Month, and right now we're talking about how we can better maintain that with psychologist Rose Zako. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so when we think of emotional wellness, it seems like a pretty, wide scale of things. What is emotional wellness exactly?
Okay, so I think of emotional wellness and health as being able to live fully despite having all the ups and downs in life. It's being able to experience the full gamut of emotions and to have some separation from the emotions that we experience so we know we are not our emotions, but that we have emotions, so they feel manageable.
Definitely. And so how then do we know if we are, emotionally healthy or if we're maintaining it well?
Okay, so when we have emotional wellness in our lives, we feel positively about ourselves. We get along well with others.
Yeah.
We can understand what other people are feeling. We have a sense of others. We have a sense of ourselves. And we feel welcoming of our own emotional experiences. We feel the fullness of joy and happiness. We can also feel sadness. We feel fear.
Yeah.
And we know we're able to move through it. And what comes on the other side of feeling our feelings is we feel lightness. We feel hope, optimism.
Yeah.
And we feel connected with others.
So when we talk about things as abstract as emotions, you think of like normal things that might impact them, when you talk about like things like feeling sad or feeling happy. But what is it that are things that might affect our emotions that we might not necessarily think of?
So all kinds of things. Our physical health can affect our emotional wellness. If we're not exercising, doing things that bring out our endorphins, our relationships can affect our emotional health. So relationships bring up oxytocin and help us to feel connected with others. If we're not taking care of our financial health, our intellectual health, our careers, we're going to feel it emotionally. So we kind of have to look at our entire lives in terms of our emotional health.
So when you talk about maintaining that, and what are some things we can do to better maintain our emotional health?
So one thing that we can do is notice our feelings, be aware of what our feelings, and feel like we can feel our feelings fully.
Yeah.
Right? We also need to pay attention to whether we can deal with our feelings, that they're not overwhelming us. And if we have trouble with our feelings overwhelming us, we should get some help with kind of managing how we're feling.
With emotions, they can actually have a physical impact on you, right? Because you think that it's all in your head, but it takes a toll. Like, how does that emotional wellness actually impact you?
Definitely. So if we feel too much anger, it can affect our heart. Or if we feel too much anxiety and fear, it can affect our digestive system and our stomach. If we feel too much sadness, we can feel it also in our hearts as well. So a lot of times we're needing others, supportive relationships, to help us to manage the intensity of our feelings, especially our negative ones.
Yeah. So when it comes to that balance of like negative and positive, how do we go about really kind of maintaining those? And is it okay, like if, because sometimes you might think, oh, well, I'm having too many negative emotions.
Right. So that's kind of where we know that we might be off balance if we're experiencing too many negative emotions. And sometimes that can be because we're stuffing our negative feelings inside. We're not allowing them to be expressed. And in that case, it's important to find other people who can help to validate our emotional experience, help us to feel not so alone.
Yeah.
And psychotherapy can be a great place where we can get some practice with that, to have a supportive person to help us to understand our emotional experience and to feel connected with others.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. We appreciate you being here with us today.
You.
And you can catch this segment again on our website, firstcoastliving.net.